Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome back to the channel. Holy shit, it has been a whirlwind, but I finally got the channel back, and here we are. So specifically what I'm going to go over is just a few things off the top of my head, including this deck right here. I went over it, I think yesterday, the day before on the other channel. It only has 6 subscribers. I made it because I lost this channel, but now I have regained my channel back, so good news, you guys don't have to worry about anything because I'm back and I'm here and we're doing stuff. So more specifically, why is this deck good and why is it being feared here lately? It does come out in 2 weeks, and if you're not ready for this deck, you need to be, specifically because it not only does it use the Tournament engine, but it also has its own source of engine that if it pulls, say cards, which as far as I know, it doesn't have a way to search them. I don't think so. I don't think they have any viability once they hit the graveyard either. Let's see. Oh, nope. There's in the graveyard. That's where they're more effective. I mean, you could special summon them for sure. And this card, if it's special summon, it adds one Change of the Spirit, which is not good. So, that's what Keldo does. So, Exchange of the Spirit would only have to be at 1, because they have a viable way to actually add Exchange of the Spirit, which is this card right here. You've never seen Exchange of the Spirit, it's a once per duel card. Here it is. Put players have 15 or more cards in their graveyard. Pay 1,000 life points. Each player swaps the cards in their graveyard with the cards in their deck. Then shuffles their deck. When I activate one, Exchange of the Spirit per duel. Well, with that being said, doesn't seem that bad, right? Both players have to have 15 or more. Well, not the case. Labyrinth. Should just hit back. I forget where I'm at half the time. So what makes this very difficult is not only is it going to switch if you have 15 cards in your graveyard. Your opponent's probably going to keep count, so as soon as you hit 15, they can flip it. And if they're smart, I've seen this happen 3 times at the Japan YCS. They use that. They use Exchange of the Spirit, right? So they flipped your decks, and you now have 15 cards in deck, and they're counting. They're then gonna flip this dude. Now that Exchange of the Spirit is in the graveyard, because if this card is sent from hand, deck to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Each player sends the top 5 cards of their deck to the graveyard, or the entire deck of less than 5. Then if Exchange of the Spirit is in your graveyard, you can send another 5, top 5 from either player's deck. Which means you're throwing 10 cards away, so they only have 5. Say, oh well, that sucks, but that's about it. No, it's not done. I think it's Kelbeck. Yep, Kelbeck. This card is sent from hand or deck to the graveyard. You can send the top 5 cards off each player's deck to the graveyard. Which means if you're counting cards correctly and you start sending top 5 cards of your deck to the graveyard, you can then start using these effects and start actually killing your opponent. Because if they get 15 cards, you flip Exchange the Spirit, they're now down to 15, and you activate 1 effect, 2 effect once they're sent to graveyard, your opponent's gonna deck out. And they did. I watched it happen 3 times in a row. And not just like 3 times in a row, I'm talking 3 games in a row. I watched it. They decked out. They passed turn for them to deck out. They had activated this 3 times in 6 different duels. It was the most incredible thing I think I've ever seen. But just know, you're not running any trap defense in your deck right now. No Cosmic Cyclones, no 7 tools. You need to stop this. But not only do you need to stop this, you need to stop this as well. So there's 3 really good traps in this thing. This is one of them. It doesn't allow you to activate effects or special summon from the graveyard, which is not good. So keep out for that. And all these as well. Madura is the only one I haven't gone over yet. As can be banished from field or graveyard. You know, don't target any 5 cards and shuffle them into the deck, which just fuels your resources. This one's not as important, however. But however, in a game state to where you're trying to, I guess, where you're trying to get your main pieces in your graveyard, flip that, and then you send the main pieces back. That's kind of game. You can't really do much. I mean, these things are really unfair, especially on a deck like Tournaments where they're all sent to the graveyard. They do stupid shit. So hats off. Whoever made this deck, because it's an ingenious idea. Whoever was the first to jump on this was somebody in the Japanese, because this is his deck profile. That's what this is. So, you know, with this being said, what decks can you use to really break this? Well, there's a few. Number 1 is the one I'm building, which is Labyrinth. Labyrinth can bust this up pretty quickly because they do not rely on the graveyard. I've read all the cards, I know what they all do. So, in order for it to run properly, you run a list similar to this. But not quite. I'm going to make some adjustments to this and get it figured out properly. Because this deck right here is the only one that I have found that really sticks a good fight to him. Last format, it was Dynamorphia and Despia. This format is going to be Labyrinth and Shizu Tearlaments, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous, knowing that our extra deck looks like absolute jank. Pick that up. We do use Abyss Dweller, which will help us. So that will be nice. The excess Kotakus are unneeded. The 2 Zeus are unneeded. This deck really does not revolve around the extra deck at all. Only deck I've ever seen in modern meta that does not. More specifically, what this deck does do is it relies off these normal traps, and all these motherfuckers will special summon off of the normal traps. This one right here. Right now. So no, they can't. So they can't. What did I just do with that? I don't know which one's this. I don't know, but I actually like that deck list a whole lot better. Okay, so we'll go with this deck list, because that deck list actually looks fucking fantastic. Pretty good damn deck list. The only thing I don't agree with is the 3 Dogmatic Punishment. It doesn't make any sense. More specifically because it's a once per turn effect, and once per turn you don't want too many of them in there. Rivalry of Warlords, however, is not a bad idea. 3 Evacuator, 2 Ice Prisons. What is that? Is that Fair Welcome? Big Welcome Labyrinth. And they got Welcome Labyrinth. But there's one, it's like a fiend. Like Archfiend's Glitch. You have to have. Just one of the most important cards in the whole fucking deck. They do have Archfiend in here, right? They're not using Archfiend. Okay, that's a miss. Specifically because my buddy, the Labyrinth Archfiend here, he summoned off an old trap like multi-trigger. I actually thought about running 2 or 3 of him because of how easy that is. And it gains 400 for every normal trap in your graveyard. With different names. Actually, yeah, Archfiend's Glitch is on there. Check this out. You control a fiend monster, target 1 card on the field, destroy it. Then you can send 1 fiend monster from deck to grave. Then you can send this. And then if this card is sent to graveyard, you can loot the top 3 cards of your deck and place them in any order. So yeah. So one card I'm looking for is Big Welcome Labyrinth. I don't know if it's out yet. I see Welcome Labyrinth, Farewell Labyrinth. No. So this card does not exist yet. Hmm. Neat. So pretty cool. Not getting too carried away with this today, because I do have to upload this today at some point in time. But there's Labyrinths. I can take on the Shizu. Also, these guys can take on a Shizu pretty easily. I don't know if you've seen their deck at all. If not, copy this and I'll pull the deck up for you. They will be able to take it on too. I did watch them go toe to toe with them. Check this out. Because there's one of them. This deck is very, very powerful. It banishes a lot of shit, which is why it has banishing tech cards like Soul Absorption. Obviously, it's very, very good. Now some of these I don't know about. But for the most part, it is a pretty good, solid deck. And it can also take down this Shizu deck. Then the only other one I can think of off the top of my head, and I'll explain another deck here in a second. Nope, not that one. Pretty close one. It's a terrible list. Yeah, that's me. Now, why is this terrible, you may ask? I'll go ahead and explain it to you. Well, thing. In order for Drytrons to be good, which I know the most about Drytrons, I played it the longest. You can't run a bunch of trash tech cards. Like it's got Herald of Ultimateness, great. Blood Chaos Max, which is questionable. Got Lightning Storms, Triple Talents, Barrier Statues, and then your normal fairy package. Very confused. I'm very confused on the one Fafnir too. Fafnir searches Nova. Cool having 3 Nova, but if you can't search the damn thing, what's the point in it? You know, you got Call By, which is smart, Foolish Burial, which is smart. Ash, which is unneeded. We're playing Drytron. You don't have to have hand traps. So that's the number one thing you have to learn about decks like this is a terrible list. One of the worst damn lists I've ever seen. Hang on. Is there anything else? This. Look at that. Hopefully it's a lot like mine. That's closer. Not quite. I'll have to put a deck list up. Oh my god. Okay, I do agree with this. 50-50. No. No. If I could say this like the best way out of anybody, just to go ahead and make this clear. Drytron, you need your entire extra deck. And if you throw five or let's say 3 to 6 cards out of it, you're fucked. Because your opponent can take you whatever way they want and fuck you over. And it's a bad day. Everybody looks at Prosperity and is like, oh, I could see the top 6 cards off my deck. Why would you do that? You're playing Drytron. You want to see these motherfuckers and these motherfuckers, if that makes sense. If that makes any sense at all. So specifically, the list, on every list I find a problem. An immediate problem, and people are like, well, I don't understand. Well, I actually just put together my Drytron deck again, right here. And you look at the top card of that. That looks like Utopic Dragonic Future, doesn't it? Yeah, what is not on here? Utopic Dragonic Future. Deck list is horrendous. One, you need 2 of those. Let's stop your first one, your play is fucked. And look at this. It's an absolute clusterfuck. Like, for your these monsters, you got Utopic, Topic, Zeus, Lurlusk, Fafnir, and Beatrice. You're not supposed to do them in any other list. Nothing else makes sense. Alright. Alright. Well, they're playing 5, but it's not the 5 you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have 2 of the Arclight while you're playing 3 Herald in the first place. Five links, as in Link Karibo, Herald of Mirage Lights, Lina, Unicorn, and Boil Sword. They're pretty close to it, they just run really close to Anima. And then the last card you run in the deck, which they actually do have correct, is Elder Intentus. Got one right. Proud of you. So why on earth do you actually do that? You use it to pop cards. It's very smart.
Back and neck pain or
I'm sorry, do I? I'm gonna click it off so I don't have to. I'm confused here for a second. Hang on. I think I just found the fuckery here. Maybe Downer. No. Oh. Okay, so let's be clear. They have Elder Antithesis in this deck with no way to send it. Because I was looking for Instant Fusion, and it's not on this list. Plus Burial won't do it. No, none of these cards will. Unless if they Diviner it. That's it. I don't know why you would do that. But, yeah, those are the 3 main decks. Now that I've ranted on for like 23 minutes. Those are the main 3 decks that'll stop the stack. And now that I've got a chance to talk, what is most important about this deck going forward and how will it impact the meta? These cards can be splashed into any deck, and they're stupid, and they're not really fair. Can be banished from field or graveyard, so even if you send them to the graveyard, they're still going to activate. So wait, you have to stop them where they are. Trap decks are going to become phenomenal in the next format, believe it or not. Combo decks, not so much. Unless if you're playing something like Drytron, where it spams and continuously comes back. But the thing where I'm real concerned with Drytron going against this deck, they can target any 5 and shuffle them into the deck, for 1. Number 2, if it gets that trap down, it can stop graveyard effects, which is not good. But if I start building my deck, that's where I'm going to succeed. I only need 3 cards. I have 3 cards of the ones I need. We're good. So Drytron is one of the only things that can stand up to it. The only thing we have to stop is that trap. The Gravedigger's trap. And we can do it, but of course they don't have the monster on here, but the Herald of Ultimate is. That's how we're going to stop it. I'm bringing on freaking Vanity's Ruler. Don't be surprised if you see that. But you know, with that being said, this is all the time I have for the video today. Of course, I just woke up, so I'm a little bit ranty. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm Pierce Nation, and I'll see you in the next video. Pierce Nation out.